Hello there, welcome back to A Right Nice Pint. What is the crack? How is your weekend getting on? I hope you're having a good one, whatever it is you're up to. It is scorching hot here in Ireland, and I'm in the mood for a review. Well, actually, it's not a review. Let's go back on this. Can I rewind? I should probably have rewinded that one. It's actually not a review. It's actually a demo today. This time around, we're going to show you how to pour the perfect Stella Artois. And the reason I'm doing this, and you see, I know I did one on Heineken before on the blade, but also if you've got a perfect draft, you might have actually seen that. So if you want to pour the perfect Stella Artois, there's actually, and this thing is going to get stuck every time I do this gets stuck to the table. So if you want to do this, Stella Artois, if you go to Belgium, they have a 9-step pour. Now we are going to cut a few steps off because a lot of the Stella Artois 9 steps are about facing the glass a certain way and all this kind of thing. Always have the brand facing the customer, that type of stuff. We're actually going to completely shorten that. We're going to bring that right down, and we're going to keep it down to very simple steps. And one of the most important steps to pouring the perfect Stella Artois is making sure your glass is clean and your glass is rinsed before you pour. Couple of the reasons for this, and actually I want to say a big shout out, and I know I've been saying a lot hi to them a lot recently. The beer gals commented, sent me a message the other day when I did the Stella Artois video, and I was wondering, why is it that all Belgian beers are kind of like, they're like this shape, they're all chalice shaped, and their thought on it, now my thought was possibly because there's a huge tradition of monks brewing in Belgium, a number of Trappist breweries in Belgium and the likes, and there was even more of them years ago, but the abbeys and the monks were all were brewing beers over there, and I thought maybe that was why the chalice glass was a thing. Their thought on it was to do with the temperature of the beer, because if you hold your hot sweaty hand here, you're going to warm up the glass, you're therefore going to warm up the beer. But if you're holding it at the stem, you're not doing that because you're holding the stem of the beer. So it's actually to keep the beer cooler. So I think they're probably right. That's probably also part of it. So very important. This is what I'm trying to say to you. I've got cold water in this glass rinser here. You can buy, there's a number of them. This is the blade one, but you don't have to buy the blade one. There's a number of them out there. Look them up. Glass rinsers. If you're in the mainland Europe, you actually see, if you watch them, they have rinsers built into their bar, so they just literally go like that and it rinses the glass. This is the home version. We're not asking you to do a bit of plumbing and put a rinser into your house. You can buy this one, something like this. You can buy some that's more expensive. That one's about 60 quid, I think, but you can get a rinser for 30 quid, I think. Very important. So fill it up with cold water. 2 things you're doing. You're cleaning the glass, but you're also cooling the glass. Why is cooling the glass important? Well, you know what? If you've got a hot glass and you pour your 3 degrees Stella Artois, whatever it is, into the glass, you're not getting you're not getting 3 degrees. You're getting a much warmer beer, because straight away the glass is warm, so it's heating up the beer. So it's very important you cool the glass first. Use your rinser. And if you're forming a hydrophilic layer on there as well, so you're cooling it, you're locking in the carbonation in the beer, so the head retention will actually be better as well. So that's another reason for that. Anyway, I'm going to lower down the 9 steps. We're going to actually just do a couple of different things differently. They're not going to be a whole lot different to your normal pour, but small things make a big difference, and that's what we're trying to show you today. So it's Stella Artois. We did one on Heineken before. They all have very similar steps, to be honest. You go to Amsterdam, you get a Heineken, you get it served to you a similar way that Stella Artois do the similar way to Stella Artois, the way that they do their steps as well. You know, so it's obviously a science. They're 2 completely different companies, owned by different people. Heineken owned Heineken, Stella Artois is owned by AB InBev. So they're 2 completely different companies. So there is a science to this, and there's a reason that they're doing this. So to get the best quality Stella Artois at home, or maybe if you're working in a bar and you see this video, these are some of the steps that they do out in mainland Europe. So just a very quick one. Let's go and rinse this, and you have to do it. You have to be aggressive with this. You're not going to break the glass. So straight down into your rinser. Now I've got too much water in this, so there's water going everywhere. But anyway, 360 degrees, you want to make sure you're cleaning every bit of that glass, right? So every corner.
Alright, so when it comes out, it is going to be absolutely shining. I'm putting water everywhere, too much water. My rinser is actually coming apart, I've noticed. So I've actually got, that shouldn't be happening. My rinser is coming apart a little bit. Some of the bristles are coming off it. Getting a lot of use. But there it is. So it is absolutely, can you see that? You can see with the light coming in from the windows there. You can see how clean that is. Look at that. So, we've got a clean glass, we've got a cool glass. Now let's get the beer in there, okay? So next up, very important element to this is a skimmer. That's the next thing. So I'm going to move, I should try and move some of the things out of the way so you can get a view of the pour. So the next important thing is that we skim it. So I'm going to move this over to here. So here we go. Hope there's enough in here. If not, this has been a disaster, because I know I'm quite low on my keg. Look at this. 45 degrees, slowly tilt it. Okay, now get your skimmer when it's overflowing. 45 degree angle with your skimmer across the top. Skimmer is sitting in a bucket there with cold water in it as well, so that's very important. So again, you know, you're keeping that clean and you're also not warming up the head. So a couple of different things that just happened there. The head is now if you're in Belgium, they'd wash the glass and all that kind of stuff as well. That'd be part of their pour, their steps. Skimming is important, very important. So the head this size, very important, because the CO2, that's a layer of CO2. The CO2 is protecting the beer from oxygen. If oxygen gets at the beer flat, it goes flat basically, and the flavour changes and it tastes muck. And you don't want that. You don't want that. So it's very important to have a head that size. We've got about a 2-finger head there. We've also, there's a layer in the foam that contains an acid, and that acid actually causes your body to go into dehydration mode. You know when they call it breaking the seal? That's that acid working on your body, so you end up going to the toilet a little bit more. But this is the end result, guys. Beautiful Stella Artois in its perfect glass. I'm actually holding it wrong. I should be holding it like that. Served at 3 degrees in its proper glass. Looks good, and it's going to even taste even better. Carbonation's locked in because of the hydrophilic layer from rinsing, so that head retention is going to be better. The lacing should be better as well. That's beautiful. It makes the beer better. Even people drink with their eyes as well. So when you see that and you see it sitting in the glass the way it was, you're immediately thinking, wow, that looks great. That's going to taste really good. And it does. That does help a lot. So that was just, I don't know how many steps. 4? Probably 4 steps. 4 steps probably to pouring the perfect Stella Artois. They do a lot of things with branding on the 9 steps, you know. Always make sure it's facing the customer, the brand, and all that kind of thing. If you're at home, it doesn't really matter. Bring it down to the 4 simple steps. Get yourself a rinser. Get a skimmer. You can use a knife if you have one. If you have one at home, if you want to use it, try the knife at home first and see how that goes for you, and maybe just try a couple of things at the sink with bristles and stuff. But it's very important to have your beer clean glass, chilled, and to skim it like that as well. Try it out. Let me know what you think. If you try it at home, comment on the video. Let me know what the results were like. Was it an improvement? Let me know what you think. If you've enjoyed the video, hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you soon for a right nice pint.